Welcome to my dialogue. Like I said the last time, this series has the focus of documenting the development of a game and not being focused on elements of the specific mechanics. However, those will probably still be presented many more times. Anyway, because I also wanted to make it more look like a game, I was keen on creating my first enemy of this game. Some could compare my idea with the piranha plant of the Super Mario series. But I did not want my plant to bite a player or make fast movements, at least not towards the player character. I wanted to still give the feeling of being an enemy, but still giving the player the feeling of not being dependable on the velocity. I did want to give the player the feeling of uncomfortability, but I also did not want to give the player the need of running away. It should be more like a feeling, don't touch it, don't come closer, it is lethal, but you can also stay around and think about how to get rid of the plant. It wouldn't jump and attack the player, at least not at the beginning. It is more something like an obstacle. If you build a glowing bulb near it, it will retreat because it does not like the light, etc., or something like that. But the enemy should still be moving in order to give a feeling of being alive, while still being only a plant. It should look like and move like some kind of snake. I wasted hours thinking about a movement system. I decided especially against a bone system. I wanted the snake plant to move individually. I was thinking ahead and I was thinking about making the plant move considering the length of it, but not the direction. Depending on the intensity of the light source, or even making the snake move around a specific light source, etc. I was thinking this could cause only problems with pre-made animations of a bone system. So I decided to make the plant in a low poly art style. However, calculating the object per se would not be the problem, if not too often. The original idea was having such a house object being built around a specific spline path. Going around like a spring, it would have an additional path of polygons which would have a specific semi-transparent texture. On those polygons, you would see the thrones on the semi-transparent texture. Like I said, building such an object every few frames or using a coroutine to update the mesh itself should be manageable. But I was confronted with a major problem. The real-time calculating of the waypoints spline was causing a noticeable frame drop of the preview window. However, it was manageable. But if I could notice such a difference, I was hoping not to need a high-performance computer for this game, and having a scene with multiple instances of this enemy, this could cause some problems on the long run. Even by putting the calculating procedure into a coroutine, you could see major jumps every few frames or every few seconds. It was no longer a fluent movement. I already considered updating the plant only in a certain approximation of the player and only having one single enemy at the very same area, but still. Let me explain why it was so complicated to calculate the waypoint path, or let's say not complicating but performance heavy, considering for one single average enemy game object. First, we have to calculate the positions of the blue points. Those were according to a sinus wave or something else, depending on some testing. how it would look like. It could be a superposition of multiple waves. Here we would need many points in order to create a smooth path later on. Now we have to create those red drawn linear paths between those blue points. Now we have segments of the plants with a constant length of b. We follow the combination of those red lines as long until we have reached the length of such a green line. Here we get a new green point. The length of the combined green lines is constant because we want to keep the whole length of the plant constant. However, the length of those combined red lines may vary drastically because the height difference may have huge differences compared to the distance in the axis direction. Having the path of the green waypoints, we may now start the building function of the mesh of the game object. This may work well because we have far less points to consider during this building procedure than we need of those red waypoints in order to make the movement smooth. However, the first prototype did not look as good as hoped, so for now I rejected this concept. Maybe I will come up with a better idea someday. So I decided to continue on the level design for the time being. I also had an idea concerning the very first NPC. At first it looks like a box. If you build a glowing bulb near it some kind of charges being visualized with a circular indicator. Then some kind of computer jumps out of it on a spring, and it can show during a dialogue process specific elements nearby. It also could be used as a referee at the end of a task visualizing mistakes, why some elements are built the wrong way or so. However, realizing the system would have needed a similar approach concerning the spring system, I also paused this idea for the time being, and I didn't want to work any longer on enemies or NPCs at the moment. So I could say the work of this week was nothing. Thanks for watching.